Hello, I'm back with another layout, and this one is my very first one using September's Counterfeit Kit Challenge Kit, and I'm using a sketch because this month in the Rediscover Your Stash Facebook group, the product focus is not an actual physical product. It is to bust out all the sketches that we've been saving and using, and I would like to combine it with challenge 1 is to do something that's inspired by the word curate. Immediately I think of museums, which is pretty obvious, and that's somewhere that we go a lot, and I have a lot of photos from museums. Naturally, the ones I wanted to scrapbook that would go really well with this kit, couldn't find them anywhere. I'm going to have to go digging in hard drives. I've got the next best thing, photos of the butterfly house at Melbourne Zoo, because it's a boy kit and the focus is on being at home. So the very first layout I'm doing is of butterflies not at home. Naturally, because that's how I roll. And I'm also, if that wasn't enough, going to combine it with my Embellish with Flair design team project, because I've got lots and lots and lots of awesome butterfly flares, and they're going to look really nice. I wanted to use this sketch. It's from a class, and I've been watching some of the videos, and it's sort of all bittersweet and nostalgic over on the now dearly departed 2 Peas in a Bucket. This was a free class that Shamil taught there. Their YouTube channel was still active, and like it's still alive, they haven't taken it down. The videos are still there, and I will link up this particular video. The sketch, I either found it on Pinterest, or actually I'm pretty sure for this particular lesson Shamil might have done a blog post on it. And so not just the sketch, I've also got the 2 interpretations. So this is the one that she did as the example, and this is the one that she actually did on the video in the class. The first thing that I often do when I am given a sketch is I figure out how faithful do I want to be to the sketch. And sometimes I just want to be contrary. That's how I roll. Other times the sketch suits the photos that I've got, so it makes sense to just go with it. And this time it doesn't quite suit the photos, although I could make it suit the photos. I mean, there's 4 landscape ones and 1 portrait, and this one could go in any orientation because there's plenty of space to do that. And my photos are mostly landscape, but I want to cut them down into probably there's one that I want to keep landscape at 4x6, and the rest I want to cut down into 4x4. So I might have 5 going across here, and I don't want to put a photo here. I want to put something else, like a big embellishment or a journaling card, but one with text or an image or something, because I really struggle with the really big embellishments, and this is the perfect time and place to use one. The other thing is that I want to put more paper layers behind here, so just more boxes. I don't need nearly so much journaling. This is just one exhibit during one trip to the zoo. It just needs a few lines, and they can go more or less anywhere. I'll show you what I thought. This is the photo that I want to leave whole. These ones, I want to cut them down somewhat, but not too much, because the composition on some of them is really nice. Other ones, they're not really great. There were no duplicate papers in the kit, and I can, and I know Shamil has done a 2-page with different papers, but I've tried it and I prefer not to. What could I do? I could go and pick 1 paper from the kit and try and find a duplicate in my stash, or hopefully in the big stack that I showed you. Didn't think there was anything that I could do that. I went through the stack and there actually were some duplicates in there, and after a lot of elimination I found these 2 sassafras papers, and then I went into my scrap bin, and that was a very interesting dive, because then I came up with this, and I really like this, and I want to put it in the middle. I'm going to cut it down more, I think. And so where this particular section is, I think that's kind of roughly where I want it, and then I'll put some more stuff behind it. So it's going to look a lot more crazy and a lot less neat and tidy by the time I'm done with it. Wanted some wood grain. The one that I had in the kit just wasn't doing it for me. Found these 2 bits. Pretty sure they're crepe paper. Not sure the exact collection, but it's roughly probably the similar time frame of this sketch, sort of 2011-ish, something like that. This I definitely wanted to use. Now, when I used this, just before this, I think, there was a layout, and Shamil used this, and she actually used it on a butterfly layout. And why it reminded me of the butterfly house at the zoo is because they have these little dishes with the different nectars and things, and they're often in in these sorts of colours, and I think it works reasonably well, and the colours I'm hoping are going to make all that green pop. And I realised at this point I hadn't actually used any sheets from my original core kit, I guess you could call it. So I went back and found this, and I think this is probably going to be better than the red, because we have the orange, although there is a little bit of red there too. The orange here, it's a pretty good match, and I like the really subtle matte print. And then there's this kind of matte print on the back. When I think about the zoo, I think maps. Well, let's get started. First thing that I need to do is cut the branding strips off and cut my photos down. Okay. Images cut. I did lose a little bit of the composition, which I'm not thrilled about, but there'll be more butterfly house photos, and I think for the sake of this layout, the focus is on the butterflies, not on the photography. Trimming that down. What I'm going to do now, and this is going to be interesting, trying to get a 24-inch composition in this frame. I don't know if it will fit or whether I'll have to zoom out. Okay, I've cut the photos, and I had to zoom out a lot to fit these two sheets across the screen. What I've decided to do is to rotate one 90 degrees, and that way they just look a little bit different. You're not going to sort of notice that the pattern is kind of repeating. It will look more like it's a continuous bit. The other thing I'm going to do is use some of these removable glue dots to stick it down, at least for now, so that they're not slipping and sliding everywhere. And that way, hopefully, you can see what I'm doing. I can see what I'm doing, and it's not going to be slipping and sliding. I need to cut a strip of this across the bottom. Don't know yet about the top, because we're going to have this. I'm not 100% sure either where to cut this one. I'm not worried about the bottom of the rainbow not really showing, because it's a bit messed up anyway. It's been in the scrap box and mangled for a while. So I'm thinking somewhere where one of these two pink ones, the dark pink or the light pink, will finish on that, and then it'll sit sort of something like that. I'm going to start cutting strips, and then with scissors I'm just going to cut along the curves and then figure out the colours. The other thing I'm going to do is ink all the bits, because they're so random that I think they're going to need it. Okay, now that we've got that done, I think the photos need to go on, then do the punched thing, then the strip at the top and strip at the bottom. I need to cut this, and so they're going to be sitting kind of like that. I do need to get those photos in place. This one's actually a reject because I miscalculated and cut too many. Okay, how did I want these? I didn't want that guy. Did I want that guy? Right, I wanted this one probably here, and these two are essentially the same butterfly. This guy's different, but he's got nice colours. Even though he's blurry, it's still probably a better photo than this one. Oh, and the other reason is I wanted, because there's not much green here, so I wanted green there, not that guy. And he's different, so he can go first, and then we'll put, say, closed wings, open wings, this, that. How am I going to do it in that? I'm not sure I'm a fan of that much space there, unless I could crop these just a touch more, because they're sort of sitting exactly 4 inches and flush with everything, and that just looks weird. Unless we did put that up there and made that like the feature photo. It'd just be a shame though not to use another embellishment. Oh, let's do that, and that way we can include this guy again. We've still got the same problem though. I have one more 4x6, and that's actually quite a cute one. I don't know if that's this guy again. Seriously, it's getting a lot of airtime. Let's get sticking. So I'm back with all my bits cut out, going by either the sketch or the original drawing. I opted for the orange to go down the bottom. I would have preferred it up here, but I realized that if the photo, that the element that's here has got the same border as what's down there. Now it doesn't have to, but if I had put the orange here, then it would have been orange on orange, and I really wanted to matte the that main photo with orange, not with the wood grain. I mean, it looks really awesome with that because it picks up on this kind of reddish orange just so perfectly. And the other advantage is that having slightly larger pattern, you can sort of start to see the map. I was deciding between these two punches and opted for this one, mainly for that reason, to give me a larger sort of a scallop. So I will start. One other thing is that I decided this was going to the end of the 12 by 12, and we figured out that the photo column was a bit shorter, so I went and cut it just with scissors and re-inked it flush to the end. So I've got to do the same with these, which I probably should have done before I re-inked. Actually no, what I'm going to do is I'll stick them down and overlap them in the center. When I separate the two, I'll just cut them off. I am going to have to start sticking things down and then worry about that area in the middle, because yeah, not gonna lie, that one's making me slightly uncomfortable. It could just end very badly. So here we go. No, I'm not going to do that yet. I am going to have to do the scary bit next with these, because otherwise I'm going to be pulling it up. So the shorter bit has to be here, and I want it to go roughly sort of halfway, not quite, sort of maybe there, and not quite, I don't want it to be quite that high. So I could keep cutting it back, but I'm just not going to. I'll just tuck it down and then use my T-square ruler to make sure that I get it even. And rainbow. I'm just going to place this guy here, sort of kind of roughly where, you could actually put it, no, I don't want that, because it's going to, because I don't really want it to overlap that one. Could overlap on this side. We'd have to change everything around. That's going to be a better idea because there's too much interference. Alright, plan B. Let's try this again. So we just, we can't reverse the rainbow that we've butchered. What if we reverse the photos? That's it, that's a good idea. Okay, now that we've averted that little crisis, I'm going to get back to our sticking of paper. Now I was going to line up with this and this little alcove up here. And then now these things. That's not a bad thing, having brown at the top, because it does break up a bit of that colour. Oh no, the pink's covered up. I'm just going to have to remember to start from the ends and work inwards. That doesn't matter about any overlap here because they'll still be cut off. Same with these guys. I just had a bit of a rummage in the good old scrap bin, and there's this October afternoon grid in cream. Actually that turns out pretty well because we're sort of giving this little guy some more breathing space. In both Chanel's examples and her sketch, it does come quite far down. The sketch throws me a little bit because this strip is quite a bit wider than that one. So it just looks like that in reverse. But that's not the worst thing, because, especially with that, yeah, because it just gives you a lot more scope for doing your own thing, which we started off and it went horribly wrong, and we ended up following the sketch without planning to. I had a feeling that perhaps these Vicky Bouton stickers might work. I think the style of the flowers is okay. There even are a few butterflies, and this sticker sheet's really sweet. It's got quite a few things that we could use. I mean, there's 3 butterflies here, and there's 3 here and 3 there. And some floral clusters. These black words are quite good. There's a lot of potential. The reason being that I thought about this is because originally I wanted to include some of the rainbow papers in the kit, the Vicky Bouton ones. I just couldn't get them to work. And while I was rummaging around, I found these. I think I might have used some from here. I haven't used any of those, and I haven't used any of those. Now, most of them are falling apart and losing their foam, which is fine because they'd be far too tall with their foam anyway, for what I was thinking. And that is to remove the button or any circle, like flat bit there, and then instead put one of these Flair badges. Let's construct these and get the title down. How am I going to do this? Because the word butterfly is going to be long, and I really want to do it in one of these fonts because I can just see that. I don't know why. And then if I put, say, house here, butterfly across there on top, could journal in this space because that's all I really need, and then just thus somewhere there. Fortunately, the chipboard thickers do not stick. I'm going to have to bust out the glue dots and see what I can do. Now, I had hoped that maybe I could use the word house in these. I won't get a glue dots easily on them, but the adhesive roller should do okay. They're not very heavy, so that's probably all they'll need. So I hoped for yellow to do the word house, but there was no H, some other critical letter. There was no orange O either, so an A had to make sacrifice. I will do the word butterfly. Do the same with that, see how it looks, and then worry about embellishment clusters, journaling, and all of that stuff. This basic grey, that's what I'm going to use. Yeah, what I will do is ink the edges. What I've done is I opted for those basic grey tile alphas. I just was so exasperated trying to search for something. I had to cut down a few a little bit. I'm not 100% certain I want them here. They may move over here, but they're easy to move. I've done that little border bit here. I also realised that this is not supposed to be flush with the top. Don't know what I was thinking, but anyway, it is where it needs to be now. I will stick this down. So apparently one of those has got to sit up there, and it probably can't be a very big one. So let's have a look at these. We'll start with this, but I'm going to use these two, the two green axle ones. And I'm going to pull off this. Oh, it says happy birthday anyway. Okay, well, I don't need that. And that's a good thing because the butterflies on the Flair are already on white. There we go. So I'll do that one first, considering it is in most dire need of repair. I'm going to just sit tight with the washi and not make any decisions about it for the minute until I see what it looks like with these things just in their place. These two definitely. Not sure about that one. I wouldn't mind. possibly that small one, but I definitely want a yellow flower up here. Maybe not. I don't want to introduce this colour, this plummy burgundy sort of pink colour. I changed my mind. Again, I'm just going to be placing things. So this one should go where there's not much orange now. Let's have a look at the placement on our handy dandy little sketch, because there weren't any embellishment placements. Okay, here, here, and down there. So the orange one definitely needs to go here. I'm just going to sit it there, and I'll know that I'll need something. Now, the big yellow one I think should go here, and there's plenty of space for it. Now, up here it's going to be interesting, because I don't want to use the pink magenta colour. That one's a bit small, and it's a very sort of, the deep orange is similar to the oranges. And this cluster is kind of huge, not going to lie. Unless we put that one there and cut it down, cut it off, and put this one here. And that one definitely will need pop dots. Or considering we've got the most space to work with over here. Yeah, maybe that's what we need to do. And we still need that washi tape, which goes from the title, except it's not going to. It'll probably go from here to wherever, to there. The washi tape's going to go all the way across there. This is kind of yellow, but it ends up looking just more cream. Yeah, I'm just going to go with this before I lose the plot. And the best bit about this is it's a ticket themed one, because you buy tickets to go to the zoo. This is on the edge. If you look at this one that Chanel's made, she's put hers on the edge of where these skins start. I'll have a look at the other one. Actual sketch doesn't have anything, and this one does the same. So I think my cluster will be sitting here. Now I did much longer bits of tape than Chanel's examples, because these are going to be much larger and more obnoxious embellishments than those nice delicate little ones that Chanel's made. I think I'm going to put that sort of like that. The smaller one should go up here. It's still kind of out of proportion, but I think the red here, because that's just going to be competing. What if I think I was a bit too hasty with those pop dots. What if I put this here, and you can't even see those purple flowers? Journaling's done. I kind of am forced to leave these letters here because they start to tear the paper when I pull them up. I didn't expect them to be so strong, otherwise I would have tried undo or something, but they don't bother me that much. I found a packet of Pearl Brads just floating around, so I've put a couple in the flower centres, and I just sort of wanted to pull back. This is going to need to be trimmed. This is hanging off the edge here, so I'll trim that back. I wanted to check that the way I've did it actually works, and it does. So what I need to still do is, once I can access this one, which is going to be the hardest one to get to, I will add the brad in there. But each of these groups, there's two things, and I think they still need a third, and I've been racking my brains what to do. I found these. They're a really good colour match, and they're kind of sort of woody looking. So if I put one in each of these groups, it brings in a little bit more of that brown, and maybe I can then just put some gold sprinkles just in each of these groups. That's what I need to do. What I'm going to do now is I am going to show you how removable these removable glue dots are. They are serious lifesavers. So I just peel it up and there it is, and I just peel it back with your finger and it just comes off like butter. So I still have to cut away any of these. As you can see, there's still some overhang. Oh, Brad, a foam thingy, a shank as the tool crafty dude calls it, or Brad setter to everybody else. I want to try and get this over the top without tearing it. And it's kind of so lumpy that it's a bit of a challenge to do. Okay, well, this is definitely not how I envisioned it to start with. I'll say that much. But I don't mind it. I don't mind that it's a bit more obnoxiously loud than Chamel's more elegant and subdued one. It's me, it is what it is. So I just have to pick up this page, trim off the excess and do the little sprinkles of mist, gems, puffy stickers. Probably doesn't need them, to be honest. Never thought I'd hear myself say that. So thank you so much for watching and for being so patient with all these changed plans and end result that looked nothing like what any of us thought it was going to look like. So I will have some still photos on my blog and on the Embellish with Flair blog. So until next time, bye!